bloody big fish though or something. Check it out! Holy oh yes! There's certainly no bloody freebies today. Good afternoon there YouTube. Welcome to another exciting edition of Black Creek Ops with your amazing fly fisherman host Colby Colbert. If you're new to the channel, well, in the next 15 minutes I'm going to show you how to line fish, catch gorse bushes, possibly snap a fly rod, and yeah, probably nothing you don't already know. If you've seen the channel before, you've got no one to blame other than yourselves for clicking on the link, and you guys probably know what you're in for. What's been happening so far this season? Jingos, we have had rain, and when I say we've had rain, I think we've had nearly all of the rain from everywhere has turned up on my local river. I had great plans this morning to come out for a fish. Instead I took the kids to the park for a play, and now that I have managed to get some time to myself, the weather has turned. It's blown about 50 miles an hour, pissing down with rain, and spotting conditions are zero. I'm anticipating the river to rise rapidly very soon, and it will be a typical Black Creek day out on the river. Wet and cold, and probably no fish. Ho hum. We have caught a fish so far this season. I wasn't anticipating making a video that day, but I did get it on video, and you can watch that clip now. I'm just tying on about a size 14 unweighted peacock pointer, just on the dropper of the lead mayfly nymph. What we're going to do is we're going to send it upstream with an indicator in the next big gust of wind, and hopefully the gust of wind will mask the presentation. It's relatively calm water, and then we might be in business. Oh, shit. We've hooked them. Probably not how we want to though. There's a lot of wind around. There's a very nice fish just up here. Got him. Oh, it's a nice fish. Rightio, the fly we've picked this cute fish up on is the peacock pointer from our good mates at nzfishingflies.com. And that's probably the only fish you'll see for this entire video. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's probably got something to do with the amazing flies I've been using from Reese up at nzfishingflies.com. All I do is I throw them in front of a trout, and generally if I put the presentation in the right spot, it gets eaten. Sometimes they just get eaten regardless of where I throw them, which is quite an amazing feat really. Anywho, as normal, that is more than enough waffle for some sort of intro, and best we go and try to spot a fish. Rightio, onward and upward, hooroo. I've been literally fizzing at the bloody bunghole trying to get out for a fish on a day where I could at least bloody spot one. Now with all that rain we've had a lot of cloud cover, and that's made sighting fish just really hard with the bloody reflection of the clouds. But today, woo, blue skies. We've got blue skies, relatively calm conditions in the creek so far, but we need to find a fish. A fish is probably the key ingredient of making a successful YouTube fishing movie. Maybe quite bloody hard to make a fishing movie without fish. It's been done before. In fact, it's been done quite a few times on this channel. We don't normally try to make a fishing video without fish though. It's probably like making an omelette without a frying pan. Good afternoon YouTube. Today we are out on a new section of river that we haven't fished before, and we've got old Binglebonk with us. The boy has come along for a wander. Target species today, anything with gills flapping around the river. I think there's some browns, there's some rainbows. Man, I'd just be happy to see one. Well, all is pretty bloody quiet. Typical Black Creek fashion. We're off for a horrendously slow start. All we've seen is bloody baleen wrap through the side of the bloody river scrub there. Quite often in these quiet and testing conditions, I often like to fire my fly line into the willows just to make sure that the hooks on the nymphs are still sharp. Yeah, they're still sharp. Wow, maybe that's what we need to use, a caddis. What do you make of the situation so far, boy?
I don't know. The situation's pretty good. We've got chips and chocolate, so they don't keep us going.
There you have it. The situation's pretty good. I was going to say the situation looks pretty bleak, but good's better than bleak, so we'll roll with that. Jingos, well, it's all pretty bloody quiet, very bleak. We've seen one stretch of water that looked like it could sustain a fish, and the closest thing we've seen to a fish so far has been a caddis. So we are about turning and heading back downstream.
It's starting to rain.
And it's starting to rain, but we'll relocate. There are other rivers nearby, and hopefully we can find one with at least a fish in it. That would be desirable. Huh?
An old boat.
Maybe a boat or a rusty tin can.
Across to the other side.
Well, we've relocated about 40 k's further north, dodged a few showers up on the way, and we're on a far bigger piece of water now. Rainbow territory. Fingers crossed. Crikey dickens. The bloody hardships of trying to catch a fish. We have driven, let's say about 100 k's. Driven 100 k's, walked quite a few k's, checked a couple of rivers. We've seen one fish for the bloody day. One fish! Whew. Anyway, it is time to hightail it home now, and we will catch you fellas on the next episode with hopefully some more fish, or a fish to the net, or a fish on film, rather than me and old Ning Nong here waffling about nothing. Nice little fish sitting out there. Seems to be happily feeding away, and I have a funny feeling we're about to change that. Who knows? He's probably about to tear off down the river. Massively ups. Future glory. Rightio, here goes nothing. Royal wolf with a peacock pointer, drop it. We're about to send it. Send it. Drift looks good. Fish is doing something. Fish is ignoring drift. Fish has ignored drift. Excellent. Good drift. Coming down, come across. Fish, no lucky. One of the things that I really do enjoy about fishing is actually sneaking up and trying to find them. And here we have one sitting in inches of water next to a ugly little gorse bush log jam right on the edge. Sight fishing is the way to do it. Sure, I'm not very good at sight fishing, you know, I sight a lot of fish. Normally I horrifically torment them, but good fun. Got a really gusty wee downstream breeze blowing straight towards me. It might make this one a little bit tricky. Probably going to end up stuck in that bloody branch, those branches there. We might just drop the indicator. It's quite clever actually. I managed to put nearly the whole thing in there. And now I am snagged on the tree behind him. You can't write this stuff. You cannot write this stuff. Righty-ho. It's a tricky little spot. We'll give them a nudge. I don't know how it's going to play out. It may get quite scrappy. That was good. So you've caught a stick. Oh yes! Bloody beauty! Oh, we got some rocks. Oh, I can feel line on rock. what do? Good fish, sit in a bad spot, had to hold a lot of pressure on them to keep them out of the branches just underneath there, and the hook's pulled just as I was about to get a net shot. Such is fishing. Seems to be when it rains it pours. Well friends, that's all we've got time for on this episode. The sun is getting low and I must diddy our home for food and beer. It's been bloody good having you on the creek this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the couple of bust ups we had back there, and maybe next time if we're lucky we might get one to the net. Plans in the pipeline. There's a couple of trips I've got jacked up for later in the month once the weather settles a bit. And hopefully this bloody delta that's currently rampaging through the North Island of New Zealand doesn't put the kibosh on the rest of our fly fishing season. Whew, that'd be a bloody bummer if it did. Anywho, as always, stay safe out there and we will spot you next time.